Hey, it's Darlene, and I'm participating in the Mix It Up Monday Challenge by Piece Craft Clubhouse. I'll have all of the information below. It is a YouTube hop and also an Instagram hop, so I'll have all the links that you need below. So please make sure you hop along. So we are using this sketch for our inspiration, and you notice the one picture I'm going to use is of my mom in front of her house, or in her back yard of her house in Tucson, and I really love the colors in there. So I'm going to do a little bit of color swiping with these Tim Holtz Distress Ink mini pads. Now, I picked colors based on the picture that I thought coordinated, and also kind of had a little Southwestern theme because, again, she is in Tucson, Arizona. So, excuse me, I don't normally do a lot of mixed media on my pages, so I really like this challenge because it really does make me think outside of the box. Now, although most of the media I used were inks, I did add some sprays and some splashes, and you'll see as I go along. So I just grabbed some stencils that I thought would work. This one reminded me of bricks, and if you noticed on the picture, she had her brick, like little cobblestones, on her floor, and also on the brick wall that she's standing in front of. So I used those. Now these little crosses or marks, I thought it kind of had a little bit of a Southwest feel, so I used this one as well, and I used green because that was the color I was trying to copy that I used of the distressed ink. I had a little problems there, as you can tell, but I just kept playing around with it, turning it over, trying to rub some of that ink off, and I really like it because it's not like really in your face kind of color. It's just very soft and very subtle. And because I use a variety of colors kind of accidentally, it gives a really weird or different tones of that green. Now that little striped one that I did right there, I like that as well. And I have no idea why I only did one stripe of it. But you know what? Who knows my creative process, right? So because I felt like this was really bright, I tried to tone it down a little bit by using a little bit of a lighter brown, and I just brushed that all over the white cardstock. So I have a package that I made, or a kit, if you want to call it that, of all my kind of like Arizona stuff. So like cactus paper, stickers, like I'm showing you right here. Now, these stickers, these top two, I got from the Dollar Tree, and that bottom one I got from, I think it's called like Below 5 or something like that, which is another discount store. I'm telling you, you can find some good stuff in those discount stores. So I had a bunch of different type of cactus paper, and I did settle on this one. I love the watercolor effect, and in fact, that's the name of the paper. It's called like Cactus Watercolor or Watercolor Cactus. Got that at Hobby Lobby. So I trimmed down my photo just a little bit, and I still wanted the sky in there, but I didn't need as much sky. And the same with the bottom with the bricks. I didn't need as much brick, so I just trimmed it down a little. If you noticed on the inspiration sketch, it looked like it was a square photo. So I didn't need to make it square, but I just wanted to cut it down a little bit. So I just decided, or I just pulled out some scraps that I thought colors matched, and then I ended up pulling out like a reddish color one, and which I'm showing you right here, which is the actual backside of a birthday paper, but it really matches the flowers in that paper. And I just kind of guessed on the measurements. As you can tell, I just put the paper there and then just cut. That's super cute. And that's from like jelly bean soup or something like that. But that's a really cute double-sided paper, and it's an old one in my scrap pile. And then I wanted to use a blue, and originally I was going to grab a solid, but I was on a roll with those pattern papers, so I used that polka dot one. And I love that paper too because it had like a distressed look to it. So I just decided to tear the bottom, and from there, that one decision that just kind of led me to doing that to all the other papers on this page. And again, it gives a kind of, I don't know if rustic's the right word, but like an outdoorsy look in my opinion. And so that's why I went with it. And I really wanted the white part of the paper to show. So you probably know if you tear it, like let's say you tear it going from the top to the bottom, it shows the white, but from bottom to top, it doesn't. Experiment. I may have it completely wrong. So once I figured out what I was doing with the paper, you did notice that I just put a little bit of adhesive behind that picture because I wasn't 100% sure on my placement. So I just wanted a little bit in case I needed to remove it, which I didn't later, but whatever. Oh, you see me? I was thinking, oh, I'm going to peel that off to add more adhesive, and that thing was stuck. But so I knew I was going to do that, but I didn't want to adhere it to the paper or the base page yet because I wanted to do some stamping, and the stamping, I wanted it to look like it was coming from underneath the paper. So I used the group of paper for placement, and then I end up adhering it later. But I just kind of did some generational stamping with these cactuses. The cactuses I got from, it's an Arizona set from the Wandering Planners, I believe is what it's called. I bought this at an expo like years ago, and I actually use it a lot. It has a lot of like Arizona monuments, like the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley. There's even one for Tucson. What else is over there? I can't even think. But Mesa, I think, or Mesa, or Phoenix, something. But anyhow, it's a really fun stamp. So I just used a few of those stamps. I used some ink. I used ink. I used olive, well, old olive. You can see right there in the bottom left-hand corner. And then also that reddish brick color from the distressed ink. I don't know the exact color, but if you need all that information, it will be on my blog. My blog link will be down below, which will also have, when you go to my blog, it'll also have the link to the blog, YouTube Hop and Instagram Hop information, and where, if you decide to join, where you can join for next time. But this is a challenge that's called, like, again, Mix It Up Monday. Excuse me. It's a Facebook group. Sorry about that. A little bit of a frog in my throat. But so the sketch had banners coming out on that bottom left, and also coming out of the photo group, which I didn't do. I thought that was just going to be too much. So I'm just using those same pattern papers. Now, you saw in the beginning, I had grabbed a whole bunch of scraps, which I didn't even end up using. But I do like the color combination of these papers. And so I just tore, like the bottoms like I had been doing. I thought I needed to keep it coordinated. But I really like this so far, and I hope you do too. And if you do, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button. I do try to post 2 videos a week. Sometimes it's more. One is always scrapbooking, and the second is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. And the command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. Now, you saw me there. I forgot to cut down this paper because it's not really that thick to stand on its own. And so I did have to cut it down. I did a 3/4 of an inch on both, or on 2 sides. So it ends up being what does that make it? 11.25 by 11.25. And you can tell I mismeasured somewhere. So I'm doing that right now. So that did tighten the white paper, or the base part, a little bit. But again, I think because I didn't add those banners coming out from this section, that it ends up being fine. And it really would have been way too much if I would have included the banners. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I ended up doing some more stamping off camera, because once I was done, or I thought I was done, I was taking a picture of it, and I thought, God, I just need something. So you see how I did that kind of generational stamping with the cactuses and the Arizona themed stamps. And when I say generational, I mean you stamp, you fully ink, you stamp once, and then you just kind of keep on stamping until the ink goes away. That's what generation stamping is. But I ended up doing that with some sentiments that I had, and in black ink, and I just, oh my gosh, it's such a wow factor. But anyhow, here's some splashing that I'm doing, and this is it's called Dark Roast, and it's called Color Silk. It used to be by Fun Stamper's Journey. Now They are bought out by Spellbinders, so I don't know if they still carry this product, but you could use any kind of splash if, splatter splash. You could even use watered down paint, whatever you have. Now these stickers, oh my God, I just love them so much. They're clear like a vellum, but they're layered. So I took off the bottom layer because I hate a lot of blah. I hate a lot of bulk on my scrapbooking layouts. I just don't like the way they settle in the albums. But so I removed the three-dimensional or foam tape on all of them and stuck them directly onto the page, and even some of the cactuses, because they had that foam in between layers, and I took some of those off and then just used the liquid glue to adhere them just straight down. Now, even though they are vellum, but you see how they're so colored, so you can't really see the adhesive. These are so pretty. I still cannot believe I got them from the dollar store. So definitely take a look in their craft section because they got some good stuff. And it's not always there, or at least in my opinion. Most of it's like, it's okay, it's cute, and I'll buy stickers, but mostly I give them to like my granddaughters. But then you hit this like wow factor stickers like these, and you're going to use them in your stuff. So anyhow, like I said, I just used some liquid glue. Now in the sketch, they had a trail of butterflies kind of just going up from the bottom left all the way to kind of sporadically to the top right. I'm using these cactus instead. Originally, I thought I didn't want to use the ones in the pot because, it doesn't look like they're coming from outdoors while they're in a pot, but who cares, right? And also the pots kind of gave a little bit more color too. So look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I just love those. And before I forget, I do want to tell you that when I added the splash and even some of the inking, I did wait a little bit just to make sure that, things dried up before I went to the next step. I know when I'm cutting film, which I do a lot, you remove kind of that kind of stuff because it adds extra time that you don't necessarily need to have on the video. But I just used a pen and I wrote down Tucson and the year. And I thought I was done, and then of course you just keep picking. So here's what I was talking about. They had the foam adhesive in between layers, and it just seemed like too much. So I'm getting ready to put some liquid adhesive on the back, and I'm getting ready to put it right back on. And then I realized it's pretty much covering the entire original, cactus. So I thought, I'm not gonna do that. It's great on its own. So I pulled it off and put it to the side. So I added one more, right? But then I don't know if you can tell, but in the original one, you see how there's like this white little rectangle. Then I thought, oh, that's probably where they put the adhesive, or like the marker to put the adhesive. Well, it looked ugly to me. So I just punched a little heart, and that was just from one of the scrap pieces from when I had to trim down the white cardstock, and then I just added it right on there. But so a little something, whatever, no one's even gonna notice. But I thought that was super cute. So here's where I'm saying, like, I think I'm done. I did a little tiny bit of journaling. I have a whole series or a whole separate scrapbook of this trip that we took, and this is a picture that I took, like I said, of my mom at her house. And again, I think I'm done. Thanks for watching. Bye. And then here's the finished product with all that generational stamping. So I hope you like this. Again, please check out the other videos, and thanks again for watching. Bye.